Good evening and welcome to the Wiccan Warrior Sunday Share. Bear me 2 seconds. I need to do all this. See who's here first. Of course, Marian's here first.
Hi, Marianne.
We were on slightly later than usual because we wondered if people might wanted to watch what Boris was talking about. So I've not watched it. Did you watch it?
No.
No. So
I was in the kitchen.
Oh yeah. So if anybody watched it and thinks it was worth me watching it, then let me know. So no. It'd be him talking about Peppa Pig again. Good evening, Danny. Danny's here.
Hi, Danny.
Yeah, just briefly, if you've not been here before and this is the first time you've found the Wiccan Warriors, we are Penny and Alistair.
Which one are you?
And I'm a Norse pagan shaman, mediumistic life coach, Reiki master thing.
Are you done?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I let that fizzle out then.
You did a bit.
Out of practice. That's what it is.
I'm Penny. I'm a Wiccan pagan. And I'm a dowser, a doula, and an empath.
Good evening, Justine.
And a Reiki master.
And Jess.
And an advanced master herbalist.
You still going?
Do you like our Christmas jumpers?
Christmas jumper day.
Merry Witchmas.
Deck the halls with skulls and bodies. Valhalla la 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 la. That's what I'm going to be wearing to work all next week.
Lovely.
So I might have to have a midweek quick wash.
Look, I've got nothing better to do than do that for you, eh?
Let's have a quick look, see who's been on. Justine's given us some love on Facebook. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, topic we're going to talk about tonight. We'll do a quick sort of apologies we've not been here, but time of year and general stress, and I've actually been really ill up
We've
until
had quite
this morning.
a lot going on.
I've been testing myself for COVID every day for a week, but I didn't get it. I got man flu. Oh, I was waiting for you to contradict me there. I was saying, I think it's man flu.
Got cold.
I did. I got a really bad cold, which put me on my arse, to be fair. I didn't go to work last week. I think I went Monday, and that was it.
Monday and Tuesday.
Did I go in Tuesday? Yeah, I worked Tuesday.
I think you went Wednesday as well, but you didn't go other work Wednesday morning.
No, I didn't do anything on Wednesday at all.
Yeah.
No, I've done nothing this week. Oh, quick update from Marion. Boris just telling us all to go get our boosters. Okay.
Huh. Okay. And I've not been very sociable and didn't feel very smiley.
That's right.
I've been a bit emotional, but I'm not now.
It's that time of year.
Fine, honest.
It's the time of year. It's an emotional time of year for people, whether they've got lots of people around them or not a lot of people around them. Christmas is a really emotive time of year, I think. So, but let's talk about something positive. Look at how comfy I'm sitting. Look at the sheer comfort of my executive chair. I've got armrests.
Can I just say?
I've got headrest.
You don't deserve that. We needed to have 2 more subscribers to our YouTube, and we didn't get them.
No, we didn't.
And your lovely bro friend,
my bro, thank you, Barry, sorted me out with an office chair. It's lush. It's so comfy.
Takes up most of the table space.
It does. It does a little bit. I think maybe I need to lower myself down a little bit to level off with you when I sit back. I'm not sure.
Or don't sit back.
That's the other option.
It's all right, I'll just sit here on my wooden chair.
Oh, there we go then. If we get 20 subscribers, Penny can get a chair.
So, what we're going to talk about?
We have been fairly busy. We went and did a party. It wasn't one of our liveliest of parties from a mediumistic point of view.
We've done a couple of parties.
No, we haven't.
Mm-hmm. Since I last did this.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that one was a much more card-led readings, so it was slightly different.
They were.
They're
very good.
But tonight,
the lovely people at our second party, though, they have found true love.
I think that, yes, Jess talking about me and Barry.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. What are we going to talk about tonight? What's our topic?
Tonight, we're going to make it seasonal, hence the funny jumpers. So we're going to look at Christmas or Yule, and talk about the different aspects of it and things that people might not know about.
How much of it has been
What
stolen and plagiarised
happened
by Christians?
before Christianity?
Oh.
Stop it. How was it celebrated? Was it celebrated? Things like that. And looking at the traditions of this time of year.
Okay, so let's do a bit of a backwards and forwards then, because you're looking at this from a pagan Wiccan point of view.
Yeah.
And I've looked at this from Norse pagan point of view. So we'll do one little thing each from our bullet points, and we'll kind of go backwards and forwards.
I haven't done it like that though.
Yeah, you have. You'll have to break it down into little sections. And then at the end, we'll see whether or not people prefer the Wiccan pagan or the Norse pagan side of it.
They might get confused though.
I think they probably will do. Everybody's just going to go, I'll have the pagan one because it's in the middle. Because it theoretically is.
It's just the belief before Christianity.
Yeah, pagan to me, as its own little term, just means kind of lover of the earth logic. So Norse lover of the earth, Wiccan lover. It probably doesn't mean that semantically. I get that. But to me, that's kind of what it means.
Okay.
It's a term for people, but it's actually a term for way of thinking and believing and stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've had coffee, so it's good. Right, you go first then. You do the first one.
So, from the pagan perspective, the Wiccan pagan, the 21st of December is the important day. It is the winter solstice, so it is the longest night. Oh my lord, I forgot how annoying you are with the microphone.
You always do this when you get into your serious, now I'm talking about information. You quieten down and you go into a real teacher mode. And it's lovely to sit and watch, but the microphone can't hear it. Everybody out there knows what I mean. They
don't at all.
They will back me up here, people, or I'm going to get my ass kicked later.
Don't back him up. Don't back him up. So, winter solstice. It's about the...
Give me a minute.
Oh, so attention-seeky, don't you think?
I'm still a bit poorly. I'll have some more coffee.
So we'll go back to the beginning. 21st of December, winter solstice. Longest night. It's about the length of the days. So we've been going through the sun waning up to the 21st of December. That's what we'll be doing. So the sun is getting lower. It's the nights are getting longer. And then when we hit winter solstice, for a few days, 2 or 3 days, the days are the same, believe it or not. It's like it's the sun's birthday, so it hangs about a bit, and then we get the change where the sun starts waxing, so it rises higher in the sky. It's day for longer than it is night, and the season starts the seasons start to shift. And we start moving towards rebirth, regrowth, that kind of thing. So coming up to winter solstice, it's about things winding down and dying off and the coming to an end. We hit winter solstice, sun is reborn, and we start having new growth, increase in fertility, good things happening.
Excellent. That's about the same from the Norse perspective, but around the 21st is when they do the celebration to Freya with those. But before we go on to that, because I'm going to have to do mine a little bit backwards by the order of yours, that lunar cycle that you've just described there of where the sun comes down and comes back up in the same place.
That's not lunar.
It's a lunar cycle or a solar cycle, whatever.
Solar cycle.
Is where the Bible gets the sun dies and is resurrected. And the same, if you look in the sky at the same time, you will see the sun comes up and down. And there's 3 kings, there's 3 stars to its east, and 1 star.
Is that Orion's belt, though?
I can't remember what the whole thing is, but it all fits an astrological event, the way that they describe the sort of birth of Christ and Easter for the resurrection side of it.
So it tips into astrology and astronomy.
Yeah, which goes all the way back to where the Egyptians are looking at the stars and the sky for all their answers to everything.
Right, okay.
But yeah, around the 21st is I'm going to talk about sort of Lucy Long Night, which is the more Norse. It's a Norse tradition celebration that's kind of old now, and the Christian adaptation of it is Saint Lucille, which I'm not sure if people have heard of, but you can Google that yourselves. I'm not telling you about the Christian ones.
Santa Lucia.
Yeah, and around the 21st, which when you're saying that is, they would bake a thing which you've baked for us called Lucy Cats, which were baked with saffron and designed to be golden to represent the sun and birth and a new life, as an offering to Freya at Christmas. They do look really yellow on the screen.
It's because they are. They're made with turmeric. Well, they're not.
But this is the first time Penny's made these, and we've not tasted one beforehand. So
show people.
We're going to
go up to the camera so people can see what it looks like. So yeah, no, you've got to show them.
They're designed to look like two cats' eyes, because Freya likes cats. So that was the idea.
There's two stories. The two stories. So one is that it's about Freya. Thing is, they're quite yeasty.
If I was a Viking,
you notice I'm not trying.
And I've been eating reindeer brains and fish out the sea, that would taste delicious.
But the fact that you've just
because I'm a modern man and I know what a Twix tastes like.
It's not about your enjoyment.
No, right, they are an offering to Freya. I'm going to finish it.
So one side of the story is that they're Luskat, which is an offering to Freya for tonight, which I think you're going to talk about a little bit.
No, that was it as far as...
Okay.
If you know more about honouring Freya, then go for it.
No, it's about, in Viking tradition, in Norse, it is tonight is the important one. Tonight is the night when we are supposed to honour the animals. We're not supposed to do any work. The 12th into the 13th, definitely not. And we're not supposed to do any work for ourselves, but what we're supposed to do is finish up our preparations. And the part of those preparations are making sure that all our spinning is done.
Yeah, but that's for Veta, not for Freya. Is that what you mean?
I haven't got that far yet.
Okay.
It's making sure that our spinning and stuff is done and that we look after the animals.
Yeah.
Have you covered that?
No, that's what Veta does.
Have you got that in there?
Yeah.
I'll shut my face then. The other story to do with the Lucy cakes, or Lucy, is there is a story that actually came from Italy about Santa Lucia, and linked to Scandinavian Lucia or Luce is like a pet name for Lucifer, and the theory being that Lucifer would come and in the guise of a cat. Do you cover this?
No.
In the guise of a cat, hence why we need cat's eyes, and that these are distributed amongst the good children and it protects them. For the yellow that the saffron would give them, or you can use turmeric as an alternative, which I did, is to make them really brightly yellow, links to the sun. It's a good offering at this time of year, but it is actually this time of year, the 12th and the 3rd into the 13th are the important Norse celebrations. I believe.
But
the story
also,
actually
from a
comes
survival
Italy.
point of view, they're a really good thing to bake at this time of year.
Yeah.
They've got healthy ingredients and they're stocky. They're good warmers, keep you warm, energy for dealing with cold, harsh weather.
Oh, and they last as
Mm.
well. And if anybody wants to make them, they're bloody awkward. Rolling them is really difficult to do.
But right, I'll jump on to...
Maybe because these ones are gluten-free, or should have mentioned
yeah, that could be why they're a bit naff.
They're a bit naff. They're a bit naff.
They're actually...
You didn't even finish eating it, so that's that.
I'm not convinced that one's cooked all the way through.
Is it because it's a super fat one?
Yeah, they're not quite nailed it. They're nice.
They're all right.
But anyway, yeah.
Because they're made with yeast.
So we've kind of jumped forward a little bit because we were at the sort of the 21st of December, with Penny's point. If we wind it back a bit to tonight being Lucy Long Night, is the 12th and the 13th of December. And this officially, as far as Norse is concerned, is the first night of Yule. Now, in good old-fashioned Viking tradition, because it's another event, it means the veil between the living and the dead is thin again. So there's a couple of things you can do tonight if you want to, which are go and put a candle on a grave, because that will hopefully link them a light to guide them to this side and to guide them back. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's one part of it. The other part of it is, as Penny touched on earlier, the spirit Veti, who comes around and she checks to see whether the baking's been done correctly, the sewing's been done correctly, whether the children have been behaving. And then she talks, because all the animals talk to each other. So they all confer and have a chat amongst themselves as to whether or not their human owners have been nice to them, which seems ironic. If you upset, at the same time as Veti goes out, there's also, it's now the time for gnomes, trolls, hudra, which are and elves, and all the kind of mythical creatures for tonight. It's a magical time. So as you can imagine, there would be lots of mead being drunk, lots of celebrations, but you don't go out. You must stay in. The logic of that is that you keep everything clear and respectful for Vita and the gnomes and the elves to go around and check everywhere and have everything. And what most people did, and still do now, is they will give their dogs a treat in the evening. They'll give it extra food or something special in an attempt to blackmail it. So that when Vita talks to it, it's like, yeah, no, they're really nice people. They're great. Because if you didn't please Vita and the gnomes, then the animals wouldn't produce whatever you needed. Your crops wouldn't produce whatever you needed. So it had a positive effect or a negative effect, depending on how you felt it went. Mm-hmm.
So we should be nice.
Yeah. So
the animals.
I'll stop that one there, and I'll come back to the Yule Riders in a minute. So let's have another Wiccan.
Okay. So
if you guys have any questions as well, you're all very quiet. I'm assuming there's people out there. Hello.
I'm hoping you're learning, or just going, what the hell, weirdos. Right. So in pagan tradition, there are two kings that rule the seasons, and the Wiccan year is split in two, from midsummer to Yule, and from Yule to midsummer. So the year is split in two. Midsummer is Litha.
It's a village where nobody wants to live.
So where the murders happen.
Yeah.
So there's the Oak King and the Holly King. So the Holly King rules from Litha or midsummer to Yule. And then after Yule to midsummer, it's the Oak King. Okay. So it is the battle of the two equinoxes, the battle of the darkness and things winding down and dying off, with the light, with things growing and rebirth and fertility and all of those things. So there's one king for each one, but there has to be both of them for there to be balance. Mm. And the kings understand that there needs to be two of them, but that doesn't stop them battling. So twice a year they battle. And that is for the swap around. But what they're battling for really is for the goddess's affection. So
I'm regretting wearing this jumper.
this is when it gets complicated, because it is believed that the two kings are actually one entity.
Let me get this right. It got complicated once there was a woman involved.
No,
There's a surprise.
because if you think back to different shows that we did about Wiccan stuff, the goddess is dark and her son and lover is light. So there is light and dark, the winter and the summer.
So the two kings are the
They
same
are
king, the personalities,
balanced.
right? The balance.
Okay, but then they don't understand that they're the same.
Right.
Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, they're constantly at war with each other because they don't realise they're the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's believed that two aspects are actually the horned god,
Okay.
which I think we might have covered before. Anyway, so the Holly King, who's the midsummer to Yule, he wears red robes. He has a big bushy white beard.
Carries a can of
He
coke.
wears a long pointed red hat. He has holly through his tangled hair. He's very jolly looking
Okay.
and robust. And he has he drives 8 stags, you know, like reindeer.
Yeah.
So that's the Holly King. So he's in charge. It gets to Yule and he's in charge. Now, who does that sound like?
Does sound a lot like Santa.
Then you've got the Oak King, who is completely different. So if anybody's seen the Green Man, the image of a male face with the leaves coming out, the Oak King is considered the Lord of the Forest, potentially the Green Man, because that's what he looks like. Interesting enough, the song, The Holly and the Ivy,
Ooh.
kind of links to that song, carol, whatever, links to that, with Yule being the last day of the Holly King's rule. The holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown.
Yeah.
For all the trees that are in the wood, the holly wears the crown, because the Holly King is king on Yule.
Oh.
And then the Oak King takes over.
So we just uncovered another Christian plagiarism.
Potentially. The difficulty with the pagan stuff, like we've said lots and lots of times, is that a lot of it was done by word of mouth and storytelling and not recorded.
Yeah. In some of the research I did as well, I found that some things that have been recorded as historical traditions were actually just a couple of families in a village. It was just theirs, but because somebody had taken the time to speak to them, it now travels down that it was an actual event. It wasn't. It was just their family's tradition.
And then jump forward to minstrels that would travel the world, telling stories through song of battles that occurred and things that happened and about traditions. They would have embellished it as well.
Yeah.
I do like that story of the Holly and
I do as
Oak
well.
King.
It's got a much more earthy feel to it.
Papa Gijo.
When I said it earlier about while I think it's Vita, I don't know how you pronounce her name.
Vita.
And her gnomes and everybody are out. While they're out doing their thing, at the same time, there's the Yule Riders, which are alleged to come down from Asgard. That's why I said earlier you're best to stay indoors, because while they're out, the idea is you stay in. I'm not 100% certain why. I couldn't figure it out why. There was no actual sort of whether it said there was a link to if they see you, they take you, or what the consequences were. I couldn't find that.
You'd be punished.
Oh, well, literally there and then, or as in your crops and your animals.
Yeah, that would be your punishment.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was looking for a more kind of if the Yule riders seen you, your family was cursed. Or,
stabby.
yeah, all of a sudden you went to Midgard. Not Midgard.
Valhalla.
No, because that's the Ascension.
Okay.
For fuck's sake.
It will come to you.
Yeah. Hell's
Anyway.
just disappeared out of my brain.
I like that. The Yule riders. They sound like scary biker types.
Yeah, they're riders of Asgard. So they'd be similar to what are they called as well? Jesus Christ, my brain's not playing right today.
Valkyrie.
The Valkyrie, yes.
They are Valkyrie.
So also tonight is when Vikings, they believed that tonight was the longest night.
Yes, that's where the shift happened. The thing with winter solstice is that the date actually changes every year.
Ah, right.
Because we've now added our calendar to it.
Yeah.
And what is it? I want to say Gregorian, but I don't think it is.
No, I think
What is it?
I think it's Roman.
Whatever it is, the whatever
Apart from the
calendar
names of the
is
dates,
added
because
to
they're
it
Vikings.
now, it doesn't cover the time of years and the season. So the celebrations in the pagan celebrations happened around particular times of year.
Well, yeah,
But
because
not
they
on
would be governed.
specific dates, because the date's linked to the calendar.
Yeah, that's what you say. Yeah, they'd actually be looking at the seasons, at the weather, the sun's position. And being that they knew how to navigate their way around the entire globe, people forget that Vikings made it to America. I found that I was reading different forums the other day and people saying about Christopher Columbus discovering the Vikings had been there freaking years beforehand.
They came at it from a different angle.
Yeah, it's just people.
And they'd been to Africa.
Forget.
They'd been to North Africa as well.
Or because the Vikings landed on our little island and kicked shit out of one monastery. That was kind of the main thing that we're always sort of remembered for. So that's yeah. So that's pretty much. There is some other traditions to do with the Norse side of things, like making straw goats, and that's in honor of Odin, who is obviously head of Norse. But the other part of that is the fact that generally wherever Freya goes, Odin's not far behind in some respect. So being that tonight is a honouring Freya, Vita's going to be about making sure everything's going all right. It doesn't surprise me that there's also celebrations to do with Odin. So it all sort of ties together. It's basically any excuse to get drunk, have a party. We're not allowed to go out. Oh, it's a lock-in. Brilliant. Vikings did lock-ins many, many years ago before we even thought of it.
Are they got a lockdown?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Viking lockdown.
So we're not allowed out. We'll just have to sit in here and drink.
So I have some other bits that I thought were quite interesting.
Excellent. I'll ad-lib some other bits. You know how my brain works.
I like the story about mistletoe, and there are a few different stories around how mistletoe is connected to this time of year. And
do that jiggle again, we'll get more viewers.
Stop it. That's a different channel.
Sorry.
So mistletoe, this time of year, it's proper hardy. It is actually a parasite that grows on another tree, but
of course it is.
It grows on oak trees, I think. But it is really hardy at this time of year, and because of that, the Druids thought that it was magical. Everything else had died, and then the snow had come and killed other stuff off, and the mistletoe just carried on blooming and growing, and they thought it was magical. So they used it in a lot of healing preparations for their animals, for their people. They used it in their worship. They thought it was the most amazing thing in the world. So linked to that, there is a Norse story.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the Norse story, thank you, Bill. The Norse story is that Odin had a son called Balder,
Boulder.
whatever, and there was a prophecy that he would die. Yes. So Frigg.
There's also Freya.
He's also Freya. It's quite weird.
That's a whole other video. We've covered this topic.
We have. It's very confusing. Norse
covered this
mythology.
topic time ago.
So Frigg, who was his mother, Odin's wife, went and spoke to everything in nature, all the animals, all the plants, and got them to swear an oath that they wouldn't kill him or be part of killing him. But she forgot to talk to the mistletoe. So Loki became aware that she hadn't spoken to the mistletoe, so he fashioned an arrow out of mistletoe. I don't know how you would. I've got to be honest with you. It's not very versatile. It's quite stringy. But he fashioned an arrow out of it and shot Balder.
Both pronunciations are right.
And killed him.
Yep.
However, the end of that story is changed in different parts of Scandinavia. For example, there is another story about the gods resurrected him and said, no, he isn't to die. We'll resurrect him. And Frigg saw mistletoe as a symbol of love that had saved him from death. He was supposed to die because he was killed by mistletoe. The gods said, no, we can't have this, and brought him back. So she saw it as a loving thing and declared that she would kiss anyone who passed underneath it. Hence we get the kissing under the mistletoe tradition.
Excellent.
But it's like all Norse stories. They're a bit muddly.
All Norse
and
stories
change frequently.
All Norse stories come from two things. There's the poetic Eddas and the other Eddas. There's just basically two books. That's it. And most of those books were written by early Christian scholars and writers. So things were translated slightly different.
The only people who could write, monks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because education was a privilege.
Yeah.
Which I think people fucking forget nowadays, actually.
What, the education
actually getting an education's, you're bloody lucky if you get a decent one.
Well, even there's the question of what's a decent education.
Anyway,
so I thought that was really interesting.
It is.
Why we have trees in our house at this time of year.
Why do we have trees in our house at this time of year?
It is actually a pagan thing. From records going back to quite a long way, I'm going to say pre-1300s, trees and evergreen was brought into the home to decorate the house for two purposes. One, to bring life into the house, to make it cheery, because it's all dark and doom and gloom and rain and snow and cold and everything's really bland looking, and it perks it up. And the other reason is to celebrate life. The tree is a live thing, which is a very pagan thing, to celebrate the nature and bring it in and keep it warm.
I've got a third idea. I've got a third reason as to why we bring it in.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the only bloody thing out there that looks any good that we could bring in. During the summer, we bring in the flowers.
Yeah, that and mistletoe, that's what we fill our house with.
There was nothing else for us to gather outside that looks any good other than that tree's still green, that cones look nice, the berries are on stuff.
Tenuous links to Christianity with the tree, as in that it is to signify Jesus.
Bullshit, sorry.
And
Well, 'cause he was
we
nailed
put
to one.
something on the top of it. We either put the star, because it was the star that guided
Star of David.
the wise men. No, that's Judaism.
Oh.
Even though he was king of the Jews. Let's not get that. And the other
Wait a
thing.
minute, which star did the three kings follow then? I thought that was the Star of David. Or was that just called the North Star?
It was just the star.
I'm getting all my religious
Yeah.
bump muddled up.
Anyway, so we can put a star on it, and when we put up the wreath, it is to signify the thorn of crowns that Jesus wore while he was on the cross.
It's genuinely, I think, it's because of my third reason. There is nothing else out there in the wild that you would want to decorate your house with.
I'm sure that there's some Scandinavian reason about the elves that live in the trees. And you bring them in to keep them warm and to keep them alive. I'm almost certain that I heard a story like that the other day.
Sounds plausible with a lot of the stuff
But
to do
I
with
might be
Norse.
wrong. But the writings about it being...
You made our wreath yourself this year. That's
I
just
did.
a bit of a tangent. So, yeah. We normally go to a garden centre. The last couple of years, we've gone to a garden centre and just say to them what we wanted. And they've made it. And they've been really good. This year we went. And they put, I don't know, just there was 3 people on the...
They messed us about and said,
Yeah.
go away and come back. And we went back and they went, sorry, what wreath?
Yeah, we've forgotten your order. So we left it.
It's right. I can throw something together for you if you want to wait. No,
Yeah,
I don't want you to throw something together. I want you to put a bit of effort in.
But as it turns out, Penny made an absolute gorgeous one. If you haven't seen it, it's on her Instagram.
And it's got on it cinnamon, which just smells lovely.
Comments are coming through. See, there's nothing else outside in the garden. You think, oh, I'd take that inside to decorate, like a bowl of autumn leaves. What else are you going to take in?
Well, it's not autumn now, it's winter.
And anywhere you walk outside now, if there's leaves on the ground, it's just dog poo minefield.
Yeah, don't do that.
Any
Don't jump in
public
leaves.
park. That leaf was a bit slippy.
Oh, dirty.
And we've got Jess.
Well, that's making it proper Wiccan-y. I'll be honest, I don't think that's true.
No, the star that's been put on the top of a tree, I don't think it's ever been a pentacle, which is different.
I don't think it is. Although we do have a pentacle on the tree in the hallway.
I've had a gingerbread man dancing on top of my head through most of this video. The angle I'm at is there.
And do you know what's really cool? And this is cool because I'm very old. Is this little snowman I made when I was in the brownies. So I think I was probably about 7 or 8.
Crumbs.
When I made that. So yeah, I was making stuff even then.
Excellent.
So how cool is that? So wait, what else is on the wreath and on the tree and all over the house?
Lights.
Dried fruit.
Dried fruit, yes. Jess knows about dried fruit now.
Jess knew about dried fruit. Barry didn't.
Oh yeah, Barry knows about dried fruit.
It is true. It is a thing, and it does take some time if you haven't got a dehydrator, which I was going to treat myself to, and then decided I wasn't going to bother.
No, you just made the house smell like oranges and lemons for the next...
And limes.
And limes, yeah, for 3 days.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So, fruit. Num, num, num. Roll it in sugar while it's still warm. And you can have, like, sugar fruits. Nice.
Excellent.
Anyway. And what about Christmas presents? Why do we give Christmas presents? Why do we give gifts?
Oh, because people are bloody greedy.
Well, I think they are now.
Oh, the spirit of Christmas now isn't the...
They're giving thanks for what we've had through the year and reflecting on how the year has been and how we're going to do things better the next year and be more fruitful is completely forgotten.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Which is the purpose of this time of year. That you draw your loved ones close to you, which we can't do. And spend time reflecting.
Do you know a line that it's always confused me at Christmas? Something that people say, it's always confused me is you get two kinds of people in the world. One's like me who don't like to say what I'd like for Christmas because I can never think of what I want for Christmas because I technically want for nothing. Do you know what I mean? I kind of have everything I need. Everything else is a want, and all of my wants would be childish. It would be something that contains batteries or a power pack that flies or it crashes into stuff. It would be very childish. So when somebody says to you,
"Oh, if you, for a physical gift."
Yeah. So when somebody says the line, oh, you're so difficult to buy for.
Yeah.
My first thought is, then you haven't got a fucking clue who I am. So why are you thinking of buying me something? So when it's somebody in the family, I mean, we kind of got into this habit now where we just ask our family, oh, what do you want for Christmas? Is there anything particular you want? And in my brain, for me, I don't know if it's just me as a man or just me, I think practical gifts. So Leah had to walk to work in the rain the other day, so I ordered an umbrella. She got it. Do you know what I mean?
I swear to
it was
God,
just a problem
if you get me a
solved.
Hoover or an iron,
no,
there will be a murder.
Generally in my brain, it needs to be a practical reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I detach from that completely and I give somebody something that I've made and it's completely, that they would never think of it. It's just a random ornament or something I've made. And they, just to watch their face, have to work out, how do I look like I appreciate what I've been given?
I think
and it does put people on the back foot.
I think it is difficult. I think if you have to ask somebody what they want, then you don't know them.
We made Anne-Marie laugh.
I think it's just your random ranting. Hi, Anne-Marie.
No, it's not. But like I said,
saying that, Anne-Marie, I have got presents for
it's
you.
It is an emotive time of year for me because I can't abide money. Money to me is such a...
You struggled the last
yeah.
couple of years.
So when it comes to then sort of, well, everybody wants gifts. Okay, well, how much does each child get? My brain starts to go logically, right, well, okay, so that's that. And I start to work out the budget and they've got to be with it. Oh, I've gone over now for that one. So I've now got to go over for that one. And it just spirals completely out of control.
I tend to link more to, rather than what do they want? What do they like? Tell me what they like and I'll work out the rest.
Yeah.
If it's like kids a nightmare because they change their minds throughout the year. Yeah, no.
I wouldn't buy Penny a Hoover. I'd buy myself a bloody Hoover. It was the first thing I bought when we moved in this house was a decent Hoover. And it's not a Hoover, it's a shark. Do.
You're an idiot. No, and... Oh, he wants all of Santa's workshop and then he gets everything. That's smart.
Yeah, no, you can't get property for Christmas. It doesn't work like that.
Unless you're uber rich. Yeah, I don't want... What am I getting for Christmas?
Nothing. A bunch of flowers.
Mm-hmm. And last year?
A bunch of flowers.
Well, because I like that. That brings me joy. That makes me happy.
Yeah. I watched a TikTok the other day about, it was somebody on...
I don't need stuff. Look, we've got stuff.
Well, it was obviously a daughter on this TikTok going, why are dads so hard to buy for? And then it cuts where somebody stitched the video together. It cuts to another bloke and he goes, I'll explain to you this in one in a nutshell. We don't need anything. What we're looking for is the look of joy and happy and helping you put together whatever it is that we've got you for Christmas. That's where our joy comes in. It's not from opening
Don't
stuff.
fib. It comes from dinner.
Fuck, dinner's the best thing about Christmas. Pants, socks, great. Give me some ties. I don't know, some typical bloke stuff. Lynx Africa. It just kind of excellent. And you just move it to wherever it needs to go in the house and it's done. It's nice when I get given something that I think, oh yeah, I'll put that on a shelf or I'll keep that in my pocket. That's the kind of things where I know somebody's put some time and effort into it. But that's not to say I'm ungrateful if somebody buys me Lynx Africa, because obviously they've had to put time and effort in to go to the shop to buy it. But you get my point.
Yeah.
We definitely have lost the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
No, we ain't, because what's that saying?
If he keeps
Moving
being,
on slowly.
if he keeps being needy and there you go, sick, he can have him. I'll drive him down.
But anyway,
Tuck and roll.
So why do we give gifts then? What is you were going to tell us?
It's purely Christian.
There's a freaking surprise.
It's purely Christian. It is not at all linked in any way to Norse or pagan, because that was about practicality and having food together and celebrating survival more than anything. A roof over your head, food in your belly, an ability to carry on were the gifts. It wasn't at all about, here's something I've got you. It was about the celebration of each other. It's purely Christian, and it symbolises the wise men giving their gifts at the birth of Christ.
Ooh. And
is in no way linked in any way to paganism.
No, because I can imagine a Viking man sort of coming in there sort of going, well, it's Christmas Day, where's my present? I want a present. I built your house and I carved all that stuff out of the animal bones that I got.
What do you mean, Christmas?
Well, yeah, what's Christmas?
What
are you
is
talking
this
about?
Christ Mass? We do not celebrate Christ Mass.
That's what I mean, though. There's no...
You say that though.
thing.
There are things that I know that bug parents, particularly while their kids are at school, like Christingle services at churches, and particularly if they go to a godbothery school, that you have the orange that symbolises the world, and the red ribbon which symbolises the blood of Christ. And then you have the candle, which is the light of
symbolises
the
conformity.
Lord. And then you have, for no apparent reason, sweets or raisins if the school's feeling tight. And that you have the Christingle service and the Christingle song. And I have to say, much as I don't necessarily agree with that and making kids conform, I like the coming together. I like the joy that a kid holding nothing more than an orange with a candle in it, that when that gets lit, how excited they are. That overwhelms me, and I cry every Christingle service I've ever been to.
I can see that.
Makes me super emotional.
No, that makes sense.
And I enjoy that, but I enjoy...
Because you're looking at it in its simplest essence.
Yeah. I quite like the idea of going to church at Christmas. And I've always liked the idea of midnight mass. And it's not about it being Christian. And I would be completely selfish. It is about the coming together of people, the collective, the emotions that are involved in that. And being an empath is something that I would be absorbing all of that. And it does make me really emotional when I've been involved in it. And getting together for a sing-song, that's just, forget the stuff that comes with it. Tune out of the actual stories that the clergy person is telling you about. Listen to the meanings about loving.
Isn't there a pagan version? Don't we have like should we start one? Like a pagan midnight mass?
There isn't. In theory, tonight we should go out and we should light a fire to celebrate.
Not tonight. Got to stay in because the Yule riders.
Oh, okay. You sure that's tonight and not the 21st?
No, it's from the 12th and 13th.
Right, okay, so it'll be the 21st. That's the difference between the Norse and the pagan. It's about going out and lighting a fire. Yeah,
okay. Bear in mind that we're sort of talking Norse and pagan like they're quite close, but you've got Norse at one end of the planet up here, so their seasons are slightly different to the Germanic side of things here.
Yeah,
so
it's interesting because
like
I'm
a seasonal difference. You could technically have got that.
Pagan groups, and like where we celebrate Samhain, they celebrate that in May.
Yeah.
And it's the equator line makes all the difference.
Yeah, changes everything. So you, like I said, we're kind of from the Vikings being of that Scandinavian top bit. then your Germanic pagans
which
being
is
down
in
here
my
and your
DNA because
Europeans.
I've had a DNA.
And then the other stem of the
test.
belief, which is the African line,
Mhm.
which was more persecuted than any of the others.
But anyway, that's our take on Yule.
It is, yeah. So we hope you've liked there's a test at the end now. So the first person to tell us the name of the biscuits that Penny made, you win a round of applause. Paying attention. So,
or maybe I'll have a look and see if I can give you a top fan badge.
yeah.
If you haven't already got one.
So, yeah, first person to put up the name of the biscuits that Penny made. And if you want extra bonus points, the significance of them. But yeah, I've enjoyed tonight. It's been informative and different. So, under no circumstances do I claim to be an expert in Norse. If you do want to look into it more, there is a channel, Wisdom of Odin, which is pretty good, which covers things from a much more in-depth point of view. I tend to skim the surface, unless I'm studying it properly. But the seasonal stuff, I find the seasonal stuff a little bit flaky.
Yeah, that's because you're a man.
Yeah.
Viking men weren't really bothered about that unless they were farmers.
The other thing is, with giving of gifts as well. I thought of this earlier. I meant to say, gifts were given when you came back from a long journey, like travel gifts.
These are souvenirs.
Yeah, so I've brought you these from my journey, and
Yeah.
while I've been away, you've made me this. So you've made me a new bits of armor or stuff.
I wouldn't have thought
my
so.
son's been blacksmithing some new swords.
I wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought a traditional Viking gift would be hack silver. I would break off a bit of silver to make you a bracelet so you remember me when you go away.
Hack silver was more for trading across Asia
Not
and all that bit. But you claimed ownership slightly, different. You put a baby in her. That was it then. She was yours.
Not necessarily.
When I go back, there better be a person standing where that lump is.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
Oh, what was that weird fact we heard earlier?
Oh my lord, I don't know. I've spent all my time trying to make wiggly snakes.
All women are bodybuilders.
All women are bodybuilders.
Useless fact. Right, nobody's got the question right about the biscuits.
Nobody's.
In
case you're interested, they're Lucicat biscuits.
So there we go. Right, we hope you've enjoyed it, guys. We will see you possibly before Christmas. Not sure. Might do a Christmas special.
We made this tonight because it is the 12th.
Yeah.
Which is important.
So yeah, it's an important night for us. Marion's put, whoops, sorry, forgot what they were called. Very interesting. Thank you. Chris has become so commercial. It has.
It's hugely commercialised now. I hate the shops.
Oh, I can't abide the media manipulation of kids when it comes to toys. When my kids were little, it was Bratz and just princessy store stuff, and so it was Disney.
Toy of the year.
Yeah. Toy of the year wasn't what the kids wanted. It was what adults thought the kids wanted. Clever marketing. Put it on
it was marketing.
A TV show, and all the kids are sat there eating their breakfast going, I didn't want one of them before, but now I do.
And we did, though. We did engage with that kind of stuff because I drove all over the country trying to find a bloody Hatchimal.
Oh, I know.
Which, when it came, she was quite disappointed with it, and it cost a small fortune. I ended up going to Bath.
I think I had to get Lyra. It was a Brat. It was like a motorbike looking thing. I'm sure that was a pain in the arse to get.
However, this year...
What am I getting for Christmas this year?
Nothing.
Hey.
What you're getting is a roof over your head and food in your belly. And the love of a good woman and Barry.
Have a good woman and a Barry.
Yes.
I was going to say something then. Because we're having goose and duck this year.
We're having goose and duck.
We're going traditional with dinner. Because I don't know if anybody's ever thought of this, but turkeys are not native to this country. So we wouldn't have been chasing turkeys around to eat them at Christmas.
It was always goose.
For the next time we're on, somebody find out when turkeys first came to the UK as a Christmas meal. And I wonder if Bernard Matthews had anything to do with it. Was it him?
Beautiful Bernard.
Beautiful
Bernard.
But anyway, right, let's go. have a good evening, guys.
Thank you for sticking with us if you have all the way through.
Yeah, it's been a little bit disjointed. I still feel a bit groggy. My brain's still a bit full of man flu. But we will see you on the next exciting episode of the Wiccan Warriors Sunday Share. See you next time.